Yes.
I think you can hear me loud and clear. Sorry for the delay. We were hoping to start by 6 o'clock, but students may not make it on time, so we want to give them some more time before we start the event. My name is Pasika. How is everyone doing tonight?
Good.
I'm hoping you're good. This evening, we will be talking about the inequities of Western media and governments when it comes to situations in countries like Ethiopia. So today is going to be the time to discuss the case of Ethiopia, and we will have two speakers tonight. One is Mohammed Hassan, and the second one is Dimitros Burgu. Both of them will be presenting papers related to what I just mentioned. But before we do that, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation, and I want to say thank you to Professor June Larkin, who is helping us a lot to put this effort, this event, and who made it possible. She is the Director of Equity Studies at New College, University of Toronto. I would like to invite her and say some words because whenever she's close to the mic, I get motivated. So I want her to say something to you. So Professor Larkin.
Well, all I can say is the feeling is very mutual. Every time I talk to Pasika, I get more and more motivated about doing equity issues. So I am the Director of Equity Studies, but I'm also the Vice Principal of the college. So when Pasika and Dimitros and Daniel came to see me to talk about the possibility of doing this event, I was really very pleased they came to see me because at New College we house African Studies, we house Equity Studies, and I think this is a very appropriate space to have these kinds of discussions. And what we want to do is make meaningful connections with the community. So I hope you will see this space as a space you can use to gather, to talk about these issues, that we can take them up here, and enlarge our community. And I'd also like to thank the Equity Studies Student Union, who after my meeting with Pasika, Daniel, and Dimitros, worked with them to organize this event. So I can take no credit for this event other than putting those two groups together, and they have organized the event. So I know this is a very important event. I'm glad that it's being videotaped and we'll have it in the archives. And hopefully this will just be the beginning of discussions that can continue. And please feel free to see this as a space that you can use. Thank you so much.
Thank you once again, Professor Larkin. What I want to say about her is she talks about getting her motivation from me, but I was actually telling a friend last time about her. I've never seen anyone who is eager to learn from everyone. She is a doctor. She knows more than most of the students ever even dream of knowing, but anytime we open, our mouths to say something, she's all ears, and she's so eager to learn from all of us. And I think her humbleness is my motivation as well. Without further ado, I would like to bring you Doyali Islam. She will be reading an article that was recently released. If many of you are not aware, there is a guy, I forgot his name, I think it's Yaneso, who set himself on fire in Ethiopia a couple of days ago. So that's a very sad and tragic story. It was posted on ESAT, one of the Ethiopia's independence medias, I guess maybe the only one right now in terms of television, or that can be broadcasted all over the world. So she would be reading the article related to this individual, and then later on, or right next to her, Mohammed will be presenting his speech. So it's going to take about half an hour, and after that it will be Dimitros who's going to take the stage. And later on we're going to have a question and answer. If you have anything to ask, please take a note. And another thing I would like to announce is Doyali will be having her book released this Saturday, and the event is going to be at the Faith Center at the Koffler House. So if you wanted to come and become part of it, please approach her and congratulate her on her success. She's a wonderful and very helpful lady. And I also would like to say thank you to the Equity Studies Students Union, who tirelessly work hard to make this event possible. Doyali, thank you.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So thank you, Fasika. If you don't know Fasika personally, she's a very compassionate being and a good friend. So I'll read this article. It's called Ethiopian Activist Sets Himself on Fire by Adebar, and excuse my pronunciation. A young Ethiopian activist and teacher, Genesa Gebre, died after he set himself on fire in Dauro, Waka, southern Ethiopia, to protest against the injustice, corruption, and atrocities the local community as well as the people of Ethiopia at large have been suffering under the brutal dictatorship of Meles Zenawi. The 29-year-old Genesa Gebre, who was a respected teacher, set himself alight on Friday, November 11th, and died at Tercha Hospital on Monday, 14th November, from the severe burns he suffered. Family sources told ESAT News Desk. In what appears to be a tragic climax linked with the local uprising in Waka town, which was sparked by maladministration and injustice, there have been protests in the past few weeks. As a result of the growing movement, a number of people, including elders, have been jailed. Genesa was also detained for nearly a week, but was released on bail pending further court hearing. After a spate of protest rallies and a lengthy dispute between representatives of the Meles regime and the Dauro community that tried to air their grievances, a public meeting was called on Friday, November 11th by senior government officials, including Elemaye Esefa, a deputy governor and political affairs chief of Southern Region. It was during the meeting that Genesa Gebre stood up and spoke out bravely, telling the authorities that the people of Ethiopia have had enough of corruption, injustice, and oppression they are suffering at the hands of the Meles regime. When security agents tried to stop him and throw him out, Genesa calmly started walking out of the meeting hall, but he suddenly poured benzene on himself and set himself alight in front of the shopped gathering. The incident threw the meeting into total disarray, and the community members at the meeting reportedly started wailing and venting their anger at the local officials and security forces that were trying to control the situation. According to ESAT sources, Genesa was very angry at the injustice people were subjected to at the hands of ruling party officials. It also appears that Genesa had been fired from his teaching position due to his political views and unswerving stand against human rights violations, tyranny, and oppression. Genesa clearly wanted martyrdom when he told the gathering that people should no longer suffer from tyranny and injustice. While fire was engulfing his whole body, he was calling for justice, freedom, and democracy, and urged people to rise up against the oppressors. He wanted martyrdom, and I have no doubt that Wazizi was on his mind when he chose to sacrifice his life for the sake of liberty and justice, another local source who witnessed the shocking incident said. According to close friends, Genesa suffered great pains as a result of the burns. He was widely respected and a star teacher at his school. Well-read and a highly conscious activist, Genesa was known for raising serious issues and challenging authorities. Before he chose to follow the footsteps of Wazizi, he was said to be one of the organizers of the peaceful protests that rocked Waka town for several days. In a bid to quash the uprising in Dauro Zone, the federal police and government secret agents have reportedly sealed off the town. The regime has cut telephone lines so as to prevent the news of Genesa's martyrdom from spreading across Ethiopia. ESAT will have special coverage on the Waka uprising, signaling the birth of an Ethiopian Wazizi that wanted to inspire Ethiopians to emulate the Arab Spring, toppling and crumbling entrenched dictatorial regimes in North Africa and the Middle East. I call upon the people of Ethiopia to immortalize Inessa just like the Tunisians have done in recognition of the sacrifice of Bouazizi. It is our time to claim our freedom, a close friend of the Martyr Shorty.